Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure. Yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here, based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me, absolutely happened to me. For years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Welch's knows some things make zero sense, like why the algorithm knows your music tastes better than you do. But zero sugar and full flavor? We made that make sense with new Welch's Zero Sugar. All that passion fruit or tropical punch goodness and none of the sugar. You gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yeah, and choo-choo.
Ha yay indeed, Jimmy, yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today. All aboard the murder train. It's a crazy one, and as usual, it's a crazy one. And we're going to West Virginia today.
Oh, boy.
Where it's going to be crazy, and there was some more known cases, because it's like a Halloween sort of episode. So I'm like, let's find it. But there's some that just so many people have already touched on them. So I'm like, let's find something weird that no one else has talked about. Let's go deep into the hills, into a trailer, and find something. And we did it this week. Yeah. So we will do that. Before we get to that very quickly, though, definitely head over to shutupandgivememurder.com/virtual live. Get tickets to the virtual live show. It's October 26th, but the tickets are available for a whole week after that. So you can buy it during that time. If you buy it before that, you can watch it as much as you want. Do whatever you want with it in that week. So there you go. We cannot wait for that. It's our Halloween spectacular. We have costumes that we're wearing, kind of sort of a matching pair we are. It's going to be amazing.
They go together.
And it's going to be a spooky, weird story. It'll be fun stuff. It's a really weird story, too. Wait till you see this guy.
Right.
Just his picture is worth the visuals alone. Just like a regular live show, but in your living room or wherever you want to be. So do that. And also get tickets for Dallas, December 2nd. That's what it is. I couldn't remember the date. But Dallas, December 2nd, the last remaining live show. That's our last live show of the year. And it's still got a few tickets left, so get in there.
Barely. You better hurry. Help us sell this.
Yeah, they're going fast. Out. They're going fast. It's December 2nd, so it's coming up pretty quick. Get those tickets right now and do that. And other than that, though, I think it is time. Oh, Patreon. Yeah, you definitely want Patreon, too, by the way. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Get all your bonus material. Right. Anybody, $5 a month or above, you get it all. Tons of bonus episodes to binge on. New ones every other week. This week, for crime and sports, which you'll get access to, we're going to talk about players who like to pay for sex again. Another part in that series. There's so many of those that you can do. Yeah. There's a lot. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to go back to Manhattan, Montana, the serial killer there, and get deep into his confession of how he pulled all this crazy stuff off.
Jesus.
It is creepy because he gives it all away, tells everything, and then goes and hangs himself in a cell. So he's unloading it, and we'll talk all about it. Patreon.com/crime and sports. But for now, I think it's time, everybody.
Oh, boy.
To sit back. Let's all clear the lungs and hands to the sky, and let's all shout. Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, Jimmy. What do you say? Let's go on a trip, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We are going on down to West Virginia again. Always a popular spot here because we've had some of the craziest episodes of this show have been in West Virginia, and it's gained a bit of a reputation around these parts.
Sure has.
So all of the listeners, especially the ones who call themselves turkeys, will know the hardcores that it is definitely an interesting one. This is in Pemberton, West Virginia.
Oh.
I know you've never heard of it because really nobody has. It is in southern West Virginia in the middle of nowhere.
Oh.
It's outside of Beckley. Put it that way.
Where the fuck is that?
15 minutes to Beckley. We did an episode in Beckley. That was the one for, I think it was For Love of My Cousin was the name of that episode. A lot there explains. It's about 2 hours to Roanoke, Virginia, if you go the other way. Okay. And then it's 2.5 hours to Clarksburg, West Virginia, our last episode there, which was the rantings of a serial killer, which was that crazy serial killer guy ranting and telling all that wild stories and shit. So population here, 930.
Oh.
Not a lot of people here at all.
Less than 1,000.
Less than 1,000. All these little towns kind of have less than 1,000. There's Sophia right next door. That's like a mile away. That has less than 1,000. There is 12% unemployment around here, from what I understand.
Oh, my God.
Area code 304. In this zip code, by the way, I looked up like the zip code because Midway is by here also. Sure. In this zip code, the average per capita income, not household, but per person income, is $15,000 a year.
How do you do it?
43% of the people here make less than $15,000 a year. Under $15,000 a year.
James, we could be fucking kings here.
You could be king here if you have a good job in an Amazon warehouse or at Walmart. I mean, this is
what though, if we were kings there, all 980 of them would overrun our place and kill us.
They would definitely kill us. Yeah, they would burn us instead of the coal. Yeah, that's what they would do.
They'd take all of our stuff and rape and burn our corpses.
Median home price here $99,900. That is the median home value. Nearby towns, Crab Orchard, Sophia, Coal City is 2.5 miles away, and Glen White, like a man's name, Glen White is 3 point. That's what's here. Pemberton, little history, located on Soak Creek.
Gross.
Which, I was going to say, did the Mormons invent that one? Yeah. And it was opened meaning the town was opened by Pemberton Fuel Company in the 1910s. The creek, I guess, was open. Yeah. Later, the Copler's Coal Company and Lillybrook Coal Company mined there, and they had a company store and all that, and that's how it works. First post office opened here in 1886. By the way, that no longer there. By 93, there's no more 1993 post office even closes. That's how when towns die, that's what happens here. So in Raleigh County, there was miners back in the day here who were killed by a violent suppression of labor organizing, and they had the Battle of Staniford during the 1902-1903 New River coal strike, which an armed posse led by U.S. Marshals shot up the miners' houses where they were with their families and killed at least 6 people.
Oh, because they were striking?
Yeah, they were later acquitted, by the way, the people who did that.
Oh, my God.
And so, yeah, it's a big deal. It was a prelude to the West Virginia coal wars, which we've talked about before.
Yeah, right.
So, interesting. Reviews of this town, not many. This is of Raleigh County, it's in Raleigh County. That's in the reviews of the county. 4 stars. Okay.
Oh.
We do not have earthquakes of any significance, hurricanes, or tornadoes. This sounds like it's from our other show, Your Stupid Opinions, which you should be listening to, by the way. There is some flooding when there are heavy storms, but that does not happen all the time. Yeah, sometimes it rains, you've just described. And
Sometimes it's a lot.
The seasons differ in severity from year to year.
Oh, is that right?
Wow, sometimes it snows more than others, and some weird. Boy, what a strange. Wow. Sometimes they're mild, sometimes they're intense. You have nothing to say. You should have just said nothing. That's the thing here. Here is 3 stars. Most families in this area work for the federal prison, coal mines, education, or small business. There's not a large variety of jobs in this area.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is. Yeah. 2 stars. Usually when I watch the local news, I see a shooting or a murder that has taken place relatively close to my area. Also, most criminals are not being found and processed.
So people are being shot and then getting away with it.
Yeah, the amount of people and the amount of unsolved murders in West Virginia compared to the population is insane.
Yeah?
There's not a lot
really?
there. Here's 2 stars. This is the last one. Quote, people seem to just pass by without even saying hi. Okay.
It's like they mind their own business.
Weird, right? They don't want to talk to me for some reason. Things to do, the Sophia City Fall Festival. That's the town that's a mile away there. They have inflatables. They have these wooden plaques with things on them. There's a Cleveland Indians logo. There's a one, the POWMIA one. There's like a college football logo here.
Somebody got a wood burning kit?
Yep. Handmade. There's a Yoda one. Handmade plaques by Jimmie, Jimmie, just like you.
Hell yeah.
That's what you've been doing.
That's my hillbilly name.
And then the other one, there's these boards that are kitchen accessories, and one has burned into it vegetable murder board, which I thought our listeners would enjoy.
Cutting board? That's very funny.
That's pretty fun stuff. But you're there for the music, aren't you? You're not there for Jimmie burning Yoda into a wooden board. You're there to see Daniel Lilly and the Lilly Mountaineers. That's who you're there to see.
Dan Lilly.
Dan Lilly. It says on their Facebook page, we are a Beckley, West Virginia-based band that plays country, bluegrass, southern rock, and gospel music. Shocking.
We knew, Dan. We definitely knew.
I really expected, I expected either like hardcore, maybe like European techno music.
Yeah.
Or obviously like, horrorcore rap, like 90s style, like Gravediggers. One of the two. I don't know. Those are the 2 things I was thinking about.
I just assumed they were big Tribe Called Quest fans.
That's, it. Here is they posted on a video that looks like it was taken on a cell phone from 2004, by the way, but it's from this year.
Yeah.
And it says, get in line, brother. That's in quotes. Song we done at the Black Walnut Festival last year. So
oh my God.
Song we done at the Black Walnut Festival. Get in line, brother. And there's also baked goods and pepperoni rolls and cinnamon rolls and all sorts of stuff. And also don't miss Sophia Rockin' Rowdy, which is, this is a strange one. The acts they have there, it's a small thing. They have the Dirty Prescott Kids, Kingery, Big Poe, and Afro Man. Okay.
Oh, really?
Sure. Why not? I don't know what's going on.
He'll take any gig at this point.
And at this place, they tout that it's all while you go off-roading. And then they have concerts at night. So they have all trails.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they say they tout off-roading on, quote, over 200 miles of outlaw trails.
Outlaw trails.
Outlaw trails. They're fucking
Hell yeah,
trails
brother.
that you've paid money to fucking ride on. They're the opposite of outlaw trails.
Right.
Holy shit. God damn.
It's probably all the backwoods roads that all the moonshiners used to drive.
Sure.
That sounds rad. I'm into it.
That'd be a fun thing to drive around in. If only it wasn't in southern West Virginia.
Right.
I'm there.
But we get to hang out with Afro Man after. Let's do it.
You think he's not on the first fucking helicopter out of there?
First donkey in the morning.
Yeah, he is taken right from the stage to transportation the hell out of this place, I'm sure. That said, let's talk about a murder, shall we?
Oh, let's do it.
Oh, boy, this is a real interesting day here that this man had. This is one of those, we've had episodes where it's just a wild day in West Virginia.
Yeah.
Like Groundhog for Breakfast and ones like that. And this falls right in line with that. Let's go back in time, not too far at all, 2011. So, I mean,
very close.
Instagram just came out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's today pretty much. It's the same thing.
It's all happening. Yeah.
Brian Daniel Hazlett. Let's talk about Hayslet. Hazlett. Born in 1979.
Okay.
And he is described in a newspaper as his speaking manner is he speaks in concise sentences, quote, in a thick country accent.
Oh, okay.
He's from this area, so he
concise sentences. They're impressed with his words.
I think he just says short. He's a man of few words. Yep, I said that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, and that too. Yep.
I'll have biscuits and gravy.
That's the one. So that's what they say about him. He had some problems, as we'll talk about, when he was 18 years old and not even out of high school yet in 2002 here. He had a little bit of an issue.
2002, he was out of high school.
Oh, wait, 2002, 18. I'm sorry. He was born before that. I messed up on that.
He's 24 at this point, right?
Yeah, that's, no, so he 23? Was born 18. He was 18 in 2002. I apologize. So he was born in 1974. He was born in,
no, 84.
84. Yeah. 70s? Why was I in 70s? Yeah. 84. Okay. 18 years old. And he said on this day he received a call from his mom and heard screaming on the other end of the line between her and her boyfriend. Okay. He said, I learned that my mom was punched in the jaw. Her boyfriend got on the phone and began taunting me over it.
In 2002, a woman is punched.
And the guy's like, yeah, I punched her. That's right.
I'll do it again.
About it, pussy? Yeah. She sustained a broken jaw and was taken to the hospital. When Brian arrived at the hospital, he said he saw her boyfriend in the parking lot.
Here we go. It's a fight on site, right?
Yeah. He said, I was attempting to get to the guy who had assaulted her. I ran past an officer. He tried to grab me but lost his balance and fell.
Uh-oh, now it's assault.
I was arrested for assault on a police officer with result of injury.
Mm-hmm.
So not great. 2002, he graduates from Oak Hill High School. Okay. And, he was part of the wrestling team in high school. So, he
was going to wrestle that motherfucker.
Yeah, he's going to take him to the ground. He's going to fucking bum rush him there and legs dive him. So he said he was part of that, and he joined the U.S. Navy after he graduates.
Hell yeah.
Which is in, 2003-ish, which was during, we had multiple wars going on, and this was, that time. He became a diesel engineer.
Okay.
And he ended up in the Iraq War as a diesel engineer.
Running generators and shit. Yep.
He maintained the engine room and refueled the guided missile war cruiser on which he was stationed. So
fucking cool.
That's his job. Keep the generator going is basically his job here. So when he gets home from the
war
Navy, he gets a job here in West Virginia at the Texas Steakhouse.
What?
There's a Texas Steakhouse.
Texas Steakhouse?
Yeah, not the Texas Roadhouse. No. This is the Hills. This is a Texas Steakhouse.
Yeah, in West Virginia.
West Virginia. Here he met Lisa Meador, and she also worked there. Meador. Meador?
Could be Meador.
Like that. Could be Meador, something like that. I'm sure it's Meador.
Yeah.
Then
here. Met her. He met her.
I met her. You met her. You know her. You met her. She's an employee there also. So they start talking. Shortly thereafter, he gets rid of this Texas Steakhouse garbage and gets a real job in the coal mines.
Good Lord.
And then he moves in with Lisa into her place, which is just a beautifully apportioned, wonderfully designed.
Very spacious
Pemberton trailer. That's where they move into.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what's going on. This isn't 2003-4. This is when he moves in. So before 2011. There is an incident in 2004 when Lisa returned home to find him extremely intoxicated.
Okay.
He likes to get real shit-faced, and she hates it when he gets real shit-faced because he acts like a jerk. He acts like a jackass.
This is a man he's been through some DV in his life. He's been to the war, and now he works in the coal mine. Probably drinks a lot.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. He's been in a war, and his childhood experience was, I got arrested for knocking a cop down while I tried to hit the man who punched my mama and taunted me about it. That's a different type of life.
That is a story.
That's a different kind of life that neither of us have that story of life.
And that's just one day of his life.
One day that the cops intervened in. And the rest of the time, he's been running around these hills. Who knows what's going on with no police.
The only reason it was documented is because that cop fell down.
That's
Otherwise,
it.
we wouldn't even know it.
It would have just been two hillbillies fighting in a fucking parking lot of a hospital that no one ever heard about. I'm sure that happens all the time.
All the time.
Tons every day. So he's shit-faced. She told him to leave. Mm-hmm. But, and I give him credit here, he was responsible enough to say he didn't want to drive. I'm not driving, I'm shit-faced.
You leave. Yeah.
So he didn't want to drive, so he told her, I'll just stay on the porch.
I'm going to sleep outside.
I'll just be on the porch. So he goes out on the porch all shit-faced.
I'm literally in the doghouse.
He said, well, I'm next to the doghouse. The dog was in the doghouse, and he wouldn't let me in. He was like, no, motherfucker, stay up there on that bench. That's where you belong. So he said, quote, next thing I know, police pull in the driveway, start asking me questions.
Oh, boy. What kind of questions?
Well, just, what's been going on. I think she called the cops on him to have him removed. Yeah. And his answer to the cop and his questions was, quote, fuck you.
Attaboy.
Which resulted in, you're under arrest, sir.
Is that right?
They arrested him for verbal assault.
You can't tell a cop, fuck you?
Apparently, I think they were going to take him.
That feels like fucking First Amendment shit, doesn't it?
That seems like on your own porch, you should be able to say, fuck you. If I'm on my porch,
I should be able to tell any cop anything I want from my porch. Yeah.
From my porch to go fuck their mother. Yeah, I think that should be totally fine.
Eat all the dicks.
I'll take it up a step. I don't care.
Get the fuck out of here. I don't care.
But the problem is, though, I think they were coming to remove him from the residence, and they probably said, you have to leave, and he said, fuck you. And they went, all right.
All right, well.
They took that as like a resisting. I don't understand it, but who knows? He was so shit-faced, he was sleeping on the porch, so we don't know his recollection of this shit either. So then from there, blackout drunk is fun, but it's more fun when you mix some pills into it, really.
Oh, no.
And as we know from anything you've ever seen on West Virginia, the pill bottle shaken is the Boone County mating call, like the wonderful whites of West Virginia, and they have quite the pill issue in West Virginia here. So he started heavily abusing oxycodone, roxycodone.
What? Oh, Roxy's,
I've heard of that. Roxycodone, I guess, is the end. And Xanax. All three.
And Xanax.
In about 2007, he started doing this. So she said at that point, it made him real difficult for him to keep a job. He couldn't quite nail a job down, which makes sense. You don't want the guy, passed out from pills next to you in the coal mine, probably. That could be dangerous. So
I don't want a guy operating a pickaxe on Xanax because I take them before I go to bed because I'm useless when I take one.
This guy takes them with booze for a fun night.
For fun.
It's a different story.
It's a smile.
So his drinking and his pills and basically doesn't help with the bills because he has no income. So they're arguing all the time over one of those three things. You're drunk, you're on pills, we have no money. One of those three.
That's tough.
So they said that she was asked, was he more, when he's on pills, is he more agitated or more just dopey is what she's asked. And Lisa says, quote, dopey. He's dopey on pills. Yeah. Which is better than violent on booze.
Thank God,
thinks. But he holds a job down less frequently, so it's, who knows. June 18th, 2011 comes around.
Okay.
They're still together, and as you can imagine, the relationship is flourishing at this point.
It's doing terrific.
He's still in the midst of a huge alcoholic pill bender from years ago, and it's still going on. He wakes up on June 18th, 2011, about 9:30 a.m., and left, and at that point, Lisa left to go to Walmart, okay? He took 5 or 6 blue Xanaxes, he said.
Blue ones.
5 or 6, which
That's
seems
a lot.
Seems like a lot. That's as many as that.
One.
Yeah, as that cartel guy asked me if I wanted girls after that comedy show. We'll get you 5, 6 girls. What? No.
5, 6 Xanax.
5, 6 Xanax is too much. So that's for what,
take
2 weeks?
One.
Yeah.
Right. I take one and I'm useless
for
for 8 hours.
Holy shit. He does this around 10:30 a.m. He's starting his day out with 5, 6. This is before he's going to go to his friend Jeff Redden's trailer, okay? Because he needs more pills, because this is what he's got. So
that's where Jeff's got him.
He does his pills. Jeff sells pills. He lives right down the trailer court there, a couple trailers over. So, yeah, he's got a drug problem, and Lisa didn't like him being at this guy's trailer. He basically wasn't allowed to go hang out at this guy's trailer.
Sure.
So he said that he would slip off to this guy's trailer, though, just about every day to get pills at some point. Every day. So this is on, by the way, Coal City Road. This is taking place. These trailers are here. He said that, Lisa said she knew that this Jeff Redden had a trailer located nearby, and she didn't approve of him visiting Brian. He wasn't allowed to be there. She said, quote, I told him if I caught him there, I was going to break up with him and kick him out. Done.
Okay. Ultimatum.
Ultimatum. Lisa said she ran her errands that day. She had gone to Walmart. He's doing pills. She ran her errands, returned home periodically. She said that she and Brian got into a fight during one of these periodic deals. So she went to play poker machines.
Okay.
I'm going to the poker machines. So
I'm going to go to the bar and sit at the end and play that stupid machine.
Play that game. Yeah, they have those casinos there that you don't have to wear a shirt in West Virginia, we've seen. So, yes. So he says, well, I'm going to go over to Jeff's trailer, then get some more pills and have me a day if you're going to be playing poker. Take that. So he goes over to Jeff Redden's house, and also over there is Rhonda McCoy. Now, Rhonda McCoy is about 4 years older than him, and she's hanging out at the house too. He said, Brian said he left his residence to get pills here, and he said he hung out during the day. Over the course of the day, he will consume what he calls a large amount of alcohol, and we'll find out exactly what he's drinking in a second here.
What's a large amount?
And snorting a bunch of pills as well.
Oh, God, he's doing it that way?
Yeah, and then this Rhonda McCoy is present here, and she's, she's hanging out, and other people
too.
People are coming and going over the course of the day, because dude sells drugs, so people come and go all the time in the hills here. So
that's a nightmare of a place to be.
This is crazy. So he arrives at the trailer, and he said that Jeff Redden and Rhonda McCoy came outside, and he said he, quote, didn't even know Rhonda's name until this happened. This is what he'll say later on. Okay? This is what he's going to say. This is Brian's story. He said, quote, I said, y'all got anything for sale? And they indicated they didn't at the time, but should soon. We're waiting on it.
Yeah.
We'll have more soon.
The re-up's on its way.
Re-up's on its way. He said they invited him in for a drink. Come in, not for a drink, but to drink. Right. So he parked his truck on the side of the road, or on a side road, out of view of Lisa if she drove by, because they live on the same street.
Yeah.
He didn't want her to see his truck
Parked it
there.
Behind a bush, yeah.
Yep. He went into the trailer where he hung out for about 3 hours in there.
Good Lord.
So it's him, Jeff Redden, Rhonda McCoy. They're hanging out. They consumed 2 1-liter bottles of Lord Calvert whiskey.
Oh, my
I don't think that's good whiskey.
I guarantee it's not good whiskey.
I've never heard of Lord Calvert brand whiskey. I feel like that is like...
It feels like what you say after you drink it. Like,
Lord
Calvert, I am so sick.
Lord Calvert, I just had diarrhea for 20 straight minutes. Jesus. Lord Calvert, it went through me.
Lord Calvert.
Whew. Lord Calvert whiskey, 2 liters of it.
That's so much whiskey.
Yeah, does whiskey come by the liter? Is that what it comes by?
It's generally, I mean, by the fluid ounce, but it's like, or like the 750 milliliters.
But they don't sell a 2 liter. I guess milliliters, like a Coke bottle.
No,
right?
they don't sell. No, they don't sell it like a Dr. Pepper.
Okay, that's what I'm wondering. So they drink 2 1-liter bottles of Lord Calvert whiskey with 3 people over a 3-hour period, by the way.
Oh, in 3 hours.
Pounding the Lord Calvert.
That is hammering that shit.
Jesus. And snorted some pills.
Oh, my God.
That Jeff had hanging out.
How does that feel good?
I don't know.
How could that possibly feel good?
You're in a whole other realm of existence if this is what you do and if this feels good to you. You're like, man, I'm going to party today, drink me a liter of whiskey, and snort some pills at 10:30 in the morning. Woo, I'm feeling good.
I want to know what Lord Calvert whiskey costs.
Not much, I'm going to say.
It's $15.
For what, a gallon?
For a handle,
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
A fucking gallon.
Do you know how bad that is? That's it's so bad.
Quote unquote Canadian whiskey.
Yeah,
that's not Canadian.
That
whiskey.
Is alcohol with caramel coloring.
Calvert.
That's
all
that is. Pure alcohol.
2.3 stars.
I bet. You know what? I'm gonna write that down, Lord Calvert. That we are definitely gonna review that for your stupid opinions. At some
I
point.
can't
so
wait.
Tune in to hear what people think about Lord Calvert. Lord Calvert. We'll do it next week. So. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well.
Right.
And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Great.
Here we go. So by then, he's hanging out. He had taken 5 or 6 pills before he got here. Now he snorted more. 2 liters of the Lord's work here.
The Lord's Calvert.
The Lord Calvert. By mid-afternoon, other people started arriving, and they gathered around a fire pit outside the trailer.
All right.
But do you think he's hanging out around the fire pit?
No.
No,
What's
because
he doing?
He's scared that Lisa will drive by and see him hanging outside the fire pit.
He's got to hang inside and shout through the window?
Yeah, so he's got to hang out inside.
Get your shit together, man.
Wow. He doesn't know the people that arrived that are hanging out there.
Okay.
But yeah, he said he went back inside. He and Jeff Redden went back in. Jeff went back in to hang out with him too. He says, quote, at some point, Rhonda came in there. she began to dance pretty much to herself.
Okay.
He said it wasn't directed at anybody. At some point, she began to lift her shirt up. Well, she's real fucked up. I don't know if there's music, she's dancing, but at some point she starts to lift her shirt up. So she's doing like a striptease.
Yeah, she's doing the fucking the pill booze crawl. That's
I'm on a lot of pills and Lord Calvert.
Yeah.
I'll do that dance if you give me Lord Calvert and I snort a bunch of pills. I'll be dancing, lifting my shirt up if you put something on.
It's a Lord Calvert slither.
Wow. The Lord Calvert boogie. I love it so much. Jesus. He says that it wasn't a lap dance. We never touched. Her and Jeff never touched. It wasn't that type of thing. They were just sitting there and she was dancing around. So at one point here, she's done dancing. When she's finished, she told him, meaning Brian and Jeff Redden, y'all owe me $20 each for the dance.
What?
But she's not kidding. She's not
dead
like,
serious.
She's like, give me $20. Mm-hmm. And they said, Brian said, I'm not fucking paying you $20 if I didn't ask you to do that. And for $20 in a West Virginia Hills trailer, that's a blowjob money. What are you talking about? Do you know what the economy is around here?
$20 in a reputable strip club is a bit high.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is in a trailer living room, an unsolicited dance where there wasn't even that. So he said, she turned to me and said the same thing, and I gave the same answer. That's what Brian said. So neither of them are doing it. He said she started arguing then, okay? She started arguing with Brian. And Brian says, I was not the one being aggressive. I was not the one cussing and screaming. That's what he said. She was cussing and screaming and mad. Now, that's not what Jeffrey says, though.
Oh?
Jeffrey says that he didn't even know what they were arguing about. That's what Jeffrey says.
So she didn't say anything to Jeff?
Apparently not, but he said, I don't know, or maybe he thought that had blown over, and he was like, they can't still be arguing about that. That's over with. But he said that Brian at some point got, quote, real mad at her, and that Jeff Redden heard Brian Hazlett call Rhonda McCoy, quote, a bitch and a whore multiple times.
All right.
But then he intervened because he's like, this could get out of hand. Jeff Redden comes and intervenes and says, Brian, you need to go home. This is getting out of hand. You need to go home. You know, I'm not going to tell the broad who's taking her shirt half off to go home. You need to go home.
There's that. Also, you're causing a stir. I run pills and drugs out of my house. I need you to get the fuck out of here.
You got to go here. And he told McCoy, Rhonda, that you're too fucking drunk, by the way. He's got to go. You're too shit-faced. You need to go lay down. Yeah. Or you can fucking leave too, but I guess she was staying there, so that was it. So Jeff said, I thought it was settled. I didn't think there would be any more to it. That was it. You go home, you go to bed, fucking problem solved. Sit by the fire and done. Everybody eat shit. So he said he remembers the door being shut and locked to his house, and then he passed out drunk too, Redden.
Oh.
The evening came around, and so a few hours go by. He passes out drunk after he locked the house up. Rhonda was in there sleeping. Everybody's fine.
No more deals being made.
All that arguing and you're drunk, you need to go home. You're drunk, you need to go to bed. This was all in the middle of the afternoon, by the way.
Whoa.
This isn't 2 a.m. behavior. This is like 3:30 in the afternoon. Yeah.
Jesus.
The sun's up, all this going on. So Brian heads home. Okay. Redden thinks he went home about 12:30 or 1. So that's when this happened, at noon.
Yeah.
This is a lunchtime argument.
Oh, my.
So he's only there for an hour and a half, 2 hours tops.
Right.
He says, though, Brian says, quote, this is the time things start getting foggy, is what he says at this point.
It's all starting to hit him.
He got back to his truck and he went home and got a beer out of his fridge and started drinking it. Okay?
Yeah.
Lisa gets home about 9:30 at night from playing a lot of poker. She said he was shit-faced, clearly drunk, but she didn't see him drinking any whiskey or beer or anything like that. Because she said that he would have been drinking beer, but his mother showed up a couple minutes before Lisa got there and took all the beer in the fridge and cracked them and poured them out down the sink because he was so drunk already and he was wanting more beer.
Okay.
So she said, I'm pouring all your beer out. You're not having any more beer tonight, okay?
That's like the worst thing you can do to somebody. But you shouldn't be so immature and such a problem that people even think to do that.
He's been drinking and doing pills since 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
it's 9:30. It's 9 at night. It's like, no. And he's such an alcoholic. That's the only way to get him to stop, is to remove
crack
the
him
alcohol.
And leave him in the sink. Jesus.
So that's a lot. So anyway, Lisa said that he told her that he, quote, killed a man in a fist fight.
Okay.
He came outside and was trying to wash his truck, which there was mud on his truck. And he said, I killed a man in a fist fight and I'm washing my truck to get the blood off.
Okay.
And she said she didn't believe him at all, that you killed a man. And she said that's mud, not blood. There's no blood on your truck. It's only mud. And he said, I killed a man. That's what happened. He, by the way, has not killed a man at all here. So a couple hours later, he decides he's still up somehow. Wow. He stumbles through the living room and says, I'm going back to Jeff's house to get more beer.
Oh, God.
Okay. He's going to the trailer to get more beer. So at this point, this is wild shit. He's going back there. He's nuts. Now, while he's there, though, he is shit-faced. He grabs a big buck knife, a big folding buck knife, and puts it in his pants as well.
From his house or from
Jeff's
his
house? No, from his house. On his way out to go back to Jeff's.
Right.
Lisa had bought it for him for Christmas.
Okay.
So he leaves the house, and both Lisa and Jeff's mom, or Lisa and Brian's mom, tried to stop him, but they couldn't stop him, as we'll talk about. He knocked his mom down, actually.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, he knocks his mom down, and he says he doesn't remember. He says, the next thing I remember, I woke up in Beckley at my mom's house on the morning of the 19th.
What?
That's what he says. So, I don't know about that. Lisa said that he had the knife tucked into the back of his pants when he was leaving. I'm sorry. The knife wasn't purchased for him. It was purchased for her 12-year-old son for Christmas. And he's like, I'll take your son's knife.
It's a folding knife?
I guess it's a folding knife. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a hunting knife,
3-inch?
they're calling it. No, it's a bigger one than that. It's a big one. Really? He said, she said, I tried to hug him to get the knife away, but he jerked away from me because he knew what I was trying to do.
Okay.
She's had to disarm him before, I feel like.
Yep.
So he ends up leaving and then coming back a little while later.
Oh, boy.
When he returns home, she said he's pale as a ghost and his hands and face are covered in blood. Okay.
And face.
Lisa got scared and ran and locked herself in the bathroom at this point.
Yeah.
Not having
Came
it.
home looking like the guy from American Horror Story.
Yeah, it's disturbing. So, anyway, this all goes on. He was only gone 10, 15 minutes, and he comes home covered in blood.
Wow.
Yeah, she said his whole body was white as a ghost. He had blood on his face and hands. The hunting knife I don't think it's a folding knife, more I look at it.
Just a
the
big
hunting
buck knife?
Yeah, the hunting knife had blood on it as well, and she noticed a cut on his hand. And she said, I said, what did you do? And he told her he got really upset and had cut his hand, and he didn't, he kind of wandered off, got upset and cut my hand. His mom said he was also white as a ghost. She said he was also making growling noises, which isn't good. No. Like Zool, you know what I mean? He's making Sigourney Weaver noises, and went into the bathroom and threw up.
And he threw up.
And he threw up. And that's when Lisa got scared and she ran to the bathroom. So he ends up leaving with his mother, leaving this residence at about 1:30 or 2 a.m., and they went to her home in Beckley, which is about 15 minutes away. Lisa said she tried to sleep, but was only able to sleep for a couple hours. At some point, Brian called her, told her he loved her, and told her again that nothing had happened, actually. I just cut my hand. It's fine. Nothing happened. Just cut my hand. She's like, you didn't kill a man?
Yeah.
No. So she then drove, the mother here, drives him to Beckley, and like we said, the next morning, that goes on all night. He's calling her, whatever. But the next morning, Lisa calls Brian to say there's cops and ambulances across the way here at Jeff's trailer. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
So apparently Jeff Redden had awoken to find the door open, the one that he had locked.
Yeah.
The contents of Rhonda's purse spilled across the living room floor, which isn't normal. And eventually he went to his back, spare bedroom, and that is where he found Rhonda back there. We'll tell you what's going on with her. But what's going on here with Brian and his mom is she drove him to his house, but there was cops blocking the way. So they turned around. Okay. There they saw a friend, and a friend told Brian that Rhonda had been murdered. Okay. Oh. So now he tells his mom this. Okay. He tells his mom that he went up to the trailer because Rhonda was threatening to tell his fiance that they were having sex. Okay. So he went in and asked Rhonda who was there, and she stated Jeff, who was passed out in the bedroom. He asked her about the back room, and she walked back to look, and no one was there. So he stabbed her. Okay. He told his mom he stabbed her in the throat and then stuck the knife through her neck, entering on the side and exiting on the other, like a Friday the 13th movie.
God.
Then pulled forward, ripping her throat open. He stuck it in, had it in all the way, and then pulled it forward so it cut out her throat from the inside.
Oh, Jesus.
Ever hear of a throat getting cut from the inside? I haven't.
Never.
Now I have. I think we've...
Wow. That's like Scream-style shit.
That's a horror movie special effect that somebody would come up with.
Yeah,
as a crazy way to kill somebody. Yes. Right. And that's what this man did.
What the fuck?
Yeah. He said that she began gurgling on blood at that point.
Yeah, that's drowning, sir.
So he stabbed her in the lung to help.
Oh, good Lord.
He stabbed her in the lung. He stabbed her way more than that. That's all he tells his mom, but we'll talk all about that pretty soon. So ambulances are arriving. As this is going on, they're driving away. She calls him again and says, Lisa calls Brian again and says, I thought you said that you didn't do anything up there. And he said, oh, Lisa, you know that place. Somebody probably OD'd or something. You know how it goes. But then soon after that, cops arrived at their trailer, at Lisa and Brian's trailer. Lisa was getting ready to leave to go see her mom, but she's stopped by a sheriff's department captain. And Lisa said, quote, he asked me if I knew what it was about. I said, is it something that happened up there? Did someone get hurt? And he shook his head, nodded his head, saying, yeah. And Lisa said, tears were coming to my eyes. And I said, did somebody die? He told her yes. And then she told him all the stuff that happened the night before about Brian. So he, back to Brian and his mom in the car, he said he was confused and had no clue how any of this had happened. So he said, I don't understand that. I don't know. I don't even know what's going on here. So they kept driving, and he's telling his mom what happened. He said, I didn't believe her. I became very confused about things. At one point, I was asked to look under the passenger seat. I did, because his mom was telling him, you told me what happened last night. You said you stabbed a girl in the neck and pulled the knife out and all this type of shit. And he's like, no, that's not true. I didn't tell you that. So she said, reach under the passenger seat and pull out what you find. And he said, I reached down and pulled out the knife, a buck knife. At that point, my heart sank. I didn't know what to do. I did roll down the window, and I threw the knife out the window.
He did?
Tossed it out the window. So they tried to take an alternate route, and they came to another roadblock, and officers found out who he was. They asked to speak with him. He said, I don't know anything about this murder or anything like that. I don't know shit, blah, blah, blah. So they drive the other route. Now, what ended up happening, June 19, 2011, according to Redden, who was at the trailer, he was passed out from drinking, woke up, shit scattered everywhere. He discovered Rhonda. He discovered Rhonda in the bedroom, in the spare bedroom, under a pile of clothing, like a bunch of
covered her up?
Goodwill clothes. He just piled it up on top of her.
Wow.
So Jeff Redden calls 911, and he said that the victim had been in a fight with a guy named Brian who lives down the street. And he said that they said, have you performed CPR? And he goes, I would gladly do that, but there's no
need. Yeah.
She's been dead and she has no throat. So this isn't going to.
There's nowhere to breathe into.
No, if you breathe in her mouth, it's just going to come out. You're going to feel it. So They said that the sheriff's deputies came in and found her dead with obvious stab wounds and a, quote, massive wound across her neck, as you can imagine.
God.
That would pull things out. Jesus.
Yeah.
The cause of death turns out to be 23 distinct stab wounds.
That's 23, so much.
Including the doozy there, inflicted to her head, neck, torso, and upper extremities. They said that she was nearly beheaded by the knife in and out. Yeah. And Butt said her death was not instantaneous. It took a few minutes.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, she also suffered on top of that. They said that her trachea and 2 arteries were both severed, leaving her unable to scream as well. That's why she gurgled there. So, So Jeff Redden says, I think I heard Brian threaten her first, saying that you ain't going to fucking tell my wife anything, and then called her a bunch of names. Said he was pretty drunk. And then he said, though, later on at trial, he'll say, after thinking about it a little more, then I can't remember him ever drinking anything there, and he didn't seem to be staggering or nothing like that. Everybody else said he was fall down drunk, though. So hammered. I think he was. They drank 2 liters of whiskey.
Of Lord Shalavance, or what was it?
Lord Calvert.
Jesus.
So how did they find out who it was other than him saying it was Brian? Well, they didn't even need this guy's testimony, because when they showed up, Captain James Bear discovered a trail of blood leading from the house to his trailer, right to his front door. Literally a trail of blood.
As just he's dripping somebody else's blood.
And his own. He cut his hand.
That's so much blood. Oh, yeah.
23 stab wounds. He cut himself. So they video the blood trail all the way there, linking the 2 trailers together, which looks bad. Inside the trailer, there is a giant pool of blood in the back bedroom of the trailer. Blood spatter all over the bedroom. 23 stabs and deep, too. Wow. A pool of blood was videoed under the trailer, having leaked all the way through the trailer to the ground in that little time. That's how much blood there was and how poorly trailers are constructed. Both of those things.
Exactly.
Together in one place. So, the porch, it goes all the way to his porch, which is pretty amusing. Lisa told the captain that he came home in the middle of the night, covered in blood. He said he had a cut on his hand. He was carrying a knife. He went with his mother to go home, and then I don't know shit about nothing. Okay. So the captain approaches him, reads him his Miranda rights, said that he did not appear to be impaired or under any distress at that point, but it was way later. So the captain recorded this interview, and which is pretty funny. The clothing, by the way, that he was wearing was never found, but the knife that he tossed out the window was found the next morning with the help of his mom, saying where he threw it out.
Yeah.
At the station, they're taking photos of his face and hands with the blood all over it, and he said to everybody, quote, I did it. Let's go. What are we waiting on?
Oh, boy.
What? Snap, prison. Let's go.
That's not how it works, bud.
Make with the prison. What are we doing here?
Yeah. I'm about to start with withdrawals. I need to get in a cell.
Yeah, let's get me the fuck in a cell here so I can find somebody to buy some shit off of. So they asked him about his fingers that appeared to be bleeding, and he said that he'd been injured at work a few days earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And they went, okay, well, 2 minutes later, they're like, we know you didn't hurt yourself at work. You don't have a fucking job, blah, blah, blah. Right. And he said, okay, I stabbed Rhonda, fine. So they record it, and it goes a little something like this.
Oh, boy.
Quote, this is Brian. She was just up there dancing for me and Jeff, and nobody told her to. And then we come outside, and she was like, well, you owe me money. And the cop says, okay. And he says, I said, no. And the cop said, wait, you owed her money for dancing? Right. Wait, let me get this hillbilly economy straight. You owed her money for dancing. Brian says, yeah. And he says, and she said, well, I'm going to tell your old lady then.
That's the problem with going to pill houses and letting everybody know I'm not supposed to be here.
That's the thing. No, she was going to tell him that we were fucking as the threat.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sonobello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sonobello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sonobello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right, let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmie's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, it's great. Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff, and I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options. Nice. It's very cool, and you can personalize this portion, and you can put filters on it. And get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Yeah. So the cop says, okay, and he says, quote, and that was that. Like they're going to go, well, all right, great then. That's a full confession. Yeah. He said that was that. So the cop said, so what did you do then? And he said, just went back to my house and come back, and that was that. And the cop said, were you mad when you went back to your house? And he said, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just said, So at that point, the cop said, okay, so you drove home and then you walked back up here. Is that right? Yeah, is the answer. Cop says, okay. You walked back up here with a hunting knife. Is that right? You have to say yes or no, by the way. He says, isn't good enough. So he says, yes. And he says, of course, so you know what I mean. Just talk to her. And she was still saying that shit.
Still saying that shit.
So I didn't want her telling my old lady nothing.
That's
what he said. So the cop says, I see what happened, but I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I want you to tell me what happened. I mean, I can see it, but I want you to tell me. And
that was said, that. What do you want?
That's that. Jesus Christ. How much more detail do you want out of a feller? You're going to have to, you know what? You're going to have to smash up some pills on this table if you want any more. He said, I just stabbed her in the throat. Like, duh.
Yeah.
The cop said, stabbed her in the throat. How many times did you stab her? He said, I don't know.
That was that.
The cop said, a bunch? Which is not an official. A bunch? His response, I don't know, I guess. The most casual murder of all time. They said, did you cut your hand during the altercation? And he said, yeah. And the cop said, was she fighting you? He said, no. Just stabbing real hard.
Savaging her body.
Yeah.
So hard that he cut himself.
He stabbed the neck was the first blow, and she was done after that.
Really?
Yeah, that was the first. He stabbed her in the neck first. Then he just hacked at her.
Oh, my God.
So he said, no. So the cop said, no, she was just saying she was still going to tell your wife, and you pulled out the knife and cut her throat. And he said, yeah. So the cop said, I mean, did you try to hide her body or anything? Like, you didn't, this is poor. He was almost going to say, you're not good at this, sir. I know this is your first murder because we'd have caught you a long time ago, and we're terrible at our jobs.
I've seen good ones. This ain't good.
This ain't good. And he said about that quote, no, I threw clothes over her, I guess, which isn't hiding a corpse.
No.
He said, all right, the cop says, where you stabbed her, is that where she's laying now and that's where you stabbed her? And he said, yep. So there you go. That's what he admits to the whole thing. Wow. They're going to charge him with first-degree murder by deliberation and premeditation, and alternatively through the commission of a felony, which is burglary, because he went through all of her shit.
Yep.
So during the pretrial motions here, the judge grants a motion from the prosecution to bar testimony from a defense psychiatrist. Okay. So in the psychiatrist's opinion, I guess they said that the reason they're barring it is because the evidence the psychiatrist cited in his opinion did not come from his interview with Brian, but from friends and family members who were not at the scene of the crime.
Okay.
So I guess there was statements in his report that were conflicting, and they played a recording for the judge here between Miller and Brian. And during the interview, Hazlett said he was not attracted to McCoy and that the two never had sex, but he was hanging out with her and a male friend at a vacant trailer at the night of the incident. He said McCoy started dancing, lifting up her shirt, demanding money, and he said she started a big argument with him, and friend said he needed to go home and all that.
Yeah.
He told the psychiatrist that he remembered getting in the truck, but he couldn't remember anything after that. So the psychiatrist said, so you're basically missing 10 hours. And he said, yeah. He said, quote, I'm to blame, but I don't think I'm 100% to blame. Okay. That's a tough one. I think you're definitely 100%.
Yeah,
there's really no other.
I mean, I'd venture to say 150%, but
yeah, he said, I think I committed a murder, but I don't think it's 100% my fault.
Who's he put the other? Who's he put some percent on? Yeah,
I gotta give that one. His lock wasn't very good. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give that my girlfriend didn't make sure I stayed home.
Yeah. I'm gonna give 10% to Quickset, probably.
Rhonda gets a couple percent to her because she came around bitching for $20. So obviously
this is God's country, so we got to give 15% to God.
Ridiculous! You got to tithe. That's important.
Yeah, if you give 15% up to him.
So during the trial, the jurors are going to see some seriously gruesome photos.
Oh God, I cannot imagine.
Horrific.
Yikes.
Yeah, like a reverse OJ. OJ did it from the front. This guy did it from the inside. Her body's nearly decapitated, found covered in clothes. That's what they have pictures of. The prosecution tells jurors here that the prosecutors, they don't show this physical evidence in the murder case to offend you or to sensationalize.
Right.
She said, murder is ugly. From the nature and the extent of the injury suffered by the victim, we have proved the defendant has malice, he's got intent to kill, and we're going to prove his premeditation. She described the actions as evil and unspeakably cruel.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. She said that it's impossible to fathom the degree of terror that Rhonda felt her last moments of her life.
Right.
Yeah, I would say so. She couldn't breathe. Defense-wise here, they say they don't deny that he killed the victim here, but they just say he doesn't remember anything that happened between the hours of 2 p.m. on June 18th, 2011, and between then and 9 a.m. on June 19th. So whole day is gone.
Yeah.
Due to the Lord Calvert and Xanax pills. It's really the Lord that did this to me.
I made my own Men in Black flashy thing.
You know how it is. It's good, too. It works. It works, boy. It's called Lord Calvert's, I call it. It's a Men in Black flashy
Lord
thing.
Calvert's, 5-6 Xanax, and then snort till the cows come home.
It's over, buddy. I'll tell you what. So now the defense, though, the law in the state of West Virginia states that unless someone is drinking intentionally to be able to, gas themselves up to do a crime, like I'm going to drink, 10 beers and go commit this crime. Unless that's the case, even if they got themselves grossly intoxicated, they call it, voluntarily, they can't, in that state, they have not the mental capacity to form premeditation or intent, and the most they can be convicted of is second-degree murder. That's the law.
Really?
But the state is not trying it like that at all. So he testifies, Brian. He's asked by his lawyer, "Are you a violent person?" He said, "No."
Of course.
Gosh, no.
Jeez.
Gee whiz. Golly.
I don't even own a knife.
Oh, shot to take it from a 12-year-old. 12-year-olds shouldn't have knives. You know what I mean? They could hurt themselves.
It's dangerous.
They said, "Are you responsible for taking Rhonda McCoy's life?" And he said, "I believe I am."
Okay.
Well, yeah, we know you are. He said he had told the jurors no recollection of what happened. He said the information I learned when he did his confession was that I stabbed somebody in the throat, slit their throat, and threw clothes over them. And the lawyer said, "Was it a conscious decision?" And he said, "Not at all. If it was conscious, it wouldn't have happened."
If it's conscious, I'd remember it.
I'd remember all of it. So the prosecutor, on the other hand, cross-examines, and he agreed that when he consumes alcohol, he becomes a more aggressive person to a point, because they're like, you drank and you're more aggressive when you drink, right? Yeah. He also, the prosecutor noted Brian's drunk driving conviction 7 months before the murder, so drinking's a problem for you, as well as, and this is ridiculous because it was years ago, 2 suspensions in high school for fighting. Please. That's insane. That has nothing to do with anything.
He's so violent.
Yeah, that's nothing. And 1 suspension for bringing drugs to school, which again is not murder. So At the night of the murder, he said that he had no memory again. So the prosecutor asked, "Did you have anything to drink at your mother's?" And he said no. And they said, "Well, how did you remember that?"
Nice.
"You don't remember nothing." And he said, "Nobody ever said I did."
Okay.
That's his answer. They said, "Did you have sex with Ms. McCoy?" And he said no. And they said, "I thought you couldn't remember anything that happened that evening." They keep asking him questions and he keeps answering them rather than saying, "I don't remember." He's a fucking moron, this guy.
He is pretty dumb, yeah.
He is dumb as balls, man. So they said, and then he said, "I'm pretty sure I didn't. I've never cheated on Lisa."
Okay.
Call me what you will. Drug addict, scumbag, murderer, but I ain't no liar. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
I will not cheat on a lady.
I'm a one-woman man.
I'm a loyal puppy in the end. So they said, "Have you ever butchered a woman before?"
That's nice.
And he said, "I haven't." No, like you've never cheated, but
recall.
You've also never killed someone before.
Right.
So, maybe that was the first time for everything. She asked later in the questioning, "So you're not denying malice, intent to kill, or premeditation. You have no memory of anything, do you?" And he said, "No, ma'am." She said, "Who stabbed Ms. McCoy in her neck, torso, and upper extremities?" He said, "I did. It was me."
Okay.
And she said, "Well, who sliced her from ear to ear?" And he said, "It was me. Okay. But I just don't remember it." So it's a 5-day trial. Jurors hear testimony from 15 different witnesses here.
Wow.
All over the place, including responding officers, medical examiners, Lisa, mom, everything. Now, his mother is a defense witness, even though she showed them where the knife is and is pretty much the prosecutor's nail in the coffin because he confessed to her, too. He filled in all of his stuff allegedly with what he told her, what she told him.
She told him,
that he
right.
told her. So it's one of those. Defense closing, okay? The attorney offers to juries, this is the defense attorney, that he says, "Listen, your opinion is the only thing that matters here. That's it. Nobody else's. Don't listen to that prosecutor. You think for yourself."
Don't listen to anybody.
He said, quote, "You all have more power than you'll have at any other time in your life." which is a weird way to approach a juror.
Yeah.
You're going to decide whether or not to deprive a man of his liberty, and if so, for how long? He said that the state had not met its burden of proving the elements of first-degree murder, especially premeditation. They said Hazlett wasn't capable of formulating the intent to commit murder. Can any of us say at the time this occurred he was fully conscious and aware of what he was doing? Yes. I respectfully submit that we cannot.
Well, I respectfully think you're a dickhead.
I think you're a dickhead because he remembered he was home by 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
He went back 10 hours later to do this.
Yeah. And
he held a grudge
knife
for 10 hours.
Yeah.
The fact that you have like a cooling off, that's how they decide if something's kind of heat of the moment or not. Did you have time to cool off and do it? 10 hours is a shitload of cool off time.
That's
shitload.
Like the most.
And he had to nearly knock his mother down as she tried to, and also pushed his girlfriend away as they tried to get him to stop. So it's not like he was in like a trance and didn't think of it. They tried to tackle him, for Christ's sake.
Right.
So that's crazy. Prosecution closing here. They wrap up their trial by asking the jury to find him guilty and not recommend mercy. First-degree murder means life in prison. Now, with or without parole is whether the jury recommends mercy or no mercy, which is pretty cool and Roman and weird. So
it's very
it's really weird. Thumbs up or what? What are we doing here? Strange stuff. So the jury, she said that Hazlett did not show, quote, a shred of remorse, nor did he shed a tear. Quote, he couldn't even muster one on the witness stand.
Yeah. Cobra Kai.
That's right. Cold as fuck, baby.
Yeah.
The verdict comes in after 4 hours of deliberations, which seems like too much. But I guess it's not because you have to, it's this degree.
You got to talk about it, yeah.
They find him here guilty of first-degree murder.
Yeah.
They find him, yes.
Yeah, because he went back and brought a knife.
He went back. The jurors here, he's going to speak before he's sentenced here, or whether they offer mercy. And he said that he was sorry. He apologized to the victim's family and his own family and said, I never intended for any of this to happen. I do have a lot of remorse for this.
Yeah.
And
Sweep the leg, Johnny.
They said, you, sir, may fuck off and get no mercy.
Yep.
Life without parole.
Oh, get him a body bag.
Life without parole here, yeah.
Holy shit.
So the prosecuting attorney said that the verdict was a relief for the victim's family, who said that they planned to spread her ashes today.
Oh.
That's nice. That's good. That's nice that they had they were waiting to get closure and then they can set her free. That's kind of cool. So the appeal comes around quickly, and the appeal is that they erred by refusing to instruct the jury about the legal effect of his intoxication on the ability to premeditate his murder, because it is in the law. Yeah. But it is denied, the appeal. 4 out of 5 people vote to deny him.
Oh.
They said upon review, we're unable to find that the circuit court abused its discretion by refusing to give the jury a voluntary intoxication instruction. The only evidence presented by the defendant regarding the level of his intoxication was his own self-serving testimony that he was drinking and ingesting prescription drugs in the afternoon before the murder. In all fairness, that is what he does. If he's sitting there, he's drinking and taking drugs. That's just what he does.
He's used to it, yeah.
That's what he does. So, and the testimony of Lisa and his mom that he was fairly intoxicated that evening. That's all they have. Yeah. However, neither Lisa nor his mom testified that they observed him drinking alcohol. But he was so drunk they poured his beer out.
Right.
That's, you know what I mean?
Whether they've seen him put alcohol inside him or not, they see what his effects are, and they know what he looks like when he's drunk.
Yeah. No shit.
Just because you didn't see him drink it doesn't mean he's not drunk.
Doesn't mean he wasn't drinking it. Yeah, absolutely. Right. They also highlighted the level of detail in his confession to the cops, as well as his actions leading up to and during the murder. He knew a lot. Such actions are not indicative of gross or extreme intoxication, but rather are considerable evidence of the ability to form and the requisite intent for first-degree murder. But there is a dissent here. Justice Robin Jean Davis dissented. She said the trial court denied the instruction, quote, even though it was supported by the evidence. She said that she believed Hazlett was entitled to a new trial. said, we've held that provided an accused did not intentionally become intoxicated so as to prepare himself for the commission of a crime, intoxication of an accused is a defense to the charge of murder in the first degree when the degree of intoxication is such to render the accused incapable of premeditation and deliberation. I think he was that drunk and he could fucking deliberate and premeditate because he's used to it. I think he's one of those. Yes. If you're these guys, there's people that are alcoholics that have a fucking 0.25 fucking blood alcohol content right this minute, and you have no fucking idea about it when you talk to them because they're functioning alcoholics.
All right.
They go to work. They drink on lunch. They deal with it. They drive fine. They can pull it off because their body's so tempered to that shit.
Yeah. And they'll get a DUI because they'll forget to use a turn signal or forget to turn their lights on. Yeah. That's how they get caught. They're still driving fine.
Once you see them and smell them, then it's a different story.
You're like, oh, boy. Yeah.
Jesus, how many of, Jesus, wow, you don't seem that drunk. I'll watch On Patrol sometimes like that or Live PD, whatever it is now, and they'll and I'm like, that guy doesn't seem that drunk, and he'll blow like a 3-1, and I'm like, holy shit, that guy's an alcoholic. Because he's carrying on a conversation like nothing's going on. If I'm 0.31, the only way the cops are pulling me over is if they found my car on the side of the road and found me asleep in it. That's the way they'd find me. I wouldn't be driving. I'd be passed out in it on the side of the road. Like, we found you sleeping in your back seat. That's not with puke all over you.
Your car's running.
Yeah, your car's running. There's throw up all over you. It's a mess. I don't know. Did you pick up a hitchhiker? He's in the front seat sleeping. I don't know what's happening. The whole thing got weird. So, yeah, there you go. That, everybody, is Pemberton, West Virginia.
What a place.
What a fucking day. I'm telling you, the days in these hills trailer parks are not the same as they are in other places. No. They're just not. On old Coal City Road, weird shit goes on. So there you go. If you like that story, definitely tell the world about it and get on and give us a review because that helps out a lot. Also, tell your friends, post on social media. Never stop spreading the word because there's a lot of shows out there, and you don't want your boys to get lost in the shuffle here. So definitely
too easy. Yeah,
tell everybody about it. Get on there. Also, listen to our other shows, Your Stupid Opinions, which is just hilarious. I'm sorry,
so much fun.
God, you find me a funnier show, and I won't give you anything, but I'll be surprised. Put it that way. It's goddamn funny. Yeah, we won't owe you anything, but we'll be surprised. We'll go, good job finding a better show because it doesn't exist. Yeah. So listen to that. Also, Crime and Sports, which is not only hilarious, but full of crime. So check that out as well. Crime and Sports been going on for years and still going strong. Check all those out. Also, shutupandgivememurder.com/virtual live. You can watch still the virtual live show. It's available a week after October 26th. October the 26th is when it's airs live, and then it's available for a week after. You can watch it as many times as you want. Buy it anytime you want during that week. Do whatever you want with it. We don't care, but definitely hang out with us, just like a live show. Halloween Spectacular. We're wearing costumes. Be there.
You bet.
Shutupandgivememurder.com/virtual live. Also get your tickets for Dallas on December the 2nd for the regular live show.
Almost sold out.
And almost sold out. Big old venue. That's going to be a banger of a show. So get your asses in there. Dallas is always a good crowd. People drive in from all over the place. Yeah. You get Oklahomans driving in, they're wild and fun.
Yeah, you bet.
So we'll talk about we'll have a good time that night telling you about a wild murder story. So do that. Keep checking it out. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports. Get your Patreon on. And anybody $5 a month or above, $5. You can't even get an extra value meal at McDonald's for $5, but you can get 200 bonus episodes to binge on and new ones every other damn week. This week is no different. What we're going to do is this week you're going to get for Crime and Sports, which you'll of course have access to because you get everything. For Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about players who like to pay for sex. Pay for sex,
yeah.
Another part of that because we did a part of that a few months ago.
Yeah.
Then for Small Town Murder, we are going to talk about the Manhattan, Montana serial killer, David Meyerhofer. We're going to go deep into his confession and really talk about the crazy shit that he says and he's describing all of these murders and how he kidnapped children out of tents and shit. It's wild stuff.
Unbelievable.
You want to hear it. He lets it all out because then he goes and hangs himself in a cell. So he's not leaving anything here. So listen to all of that. That'll be great. That is shutupandgivememurder.com. Patreon.com. Oh, that's patreon.com/crime and sports.
There
Sorry.
it is.
So do that. You want to follow us on social media as well. We're at Small Town Murder on Instagram. You'll find us out there at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook. You want to follow us? Go to shutupandgivememurder.com. There's a menu.
Links are there.
To all that shit. Keep hanging out with us. Listen to the other shows. And wow, it's been a wild one. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.